Hey, what's up you beautiful feckers? How you all doing? So, last week I made a top 10 primary weapons video for when I was away on holiday, and you guys seemed to really enjoy it and wanted me to make a list for secondary weapons as well, so here we are. Remember, there are no real best weapons in Warframe except Clem. Clem is the only weapon you need, and there are nearly 100 sidearms to build and play with, so breaking them down to just 10 doesn't seem very fair. Maybe 20 or 25 would have been a much better list, but it would have been a really long feckin' video. Now, Rivens also change everything. They've been in the game for long enough now and should definitely be taken into account when you look at certain weapons, because weapons that might seem mediocre can be scaled up into completely different beasts with the help of the right Riven. So by all means, share your top 10 sidearms in the comment section below this video. It could help newer players out and not have them selling a weapon that could turn out to be absolutely amazing later on. Now, before I begin, let me make one thing clear. The Kraken, it's not in this list. The Kraken is not top 10. Fuck, it's not even top 33. It's not even top 80. If you disagree, then don't watch the video. I have a badger pit waiting outside and you can just go ahead and just jump right in and fucking fight the badgers, because no Kraken, right? There will be honourable mentions, of course, as well at the end of this video, or weapons that could have easily or should also be on this list. So let's begin in no particular order. First up is a sidearm that's a bit of a ragdoll machine, our very own Corpus Mega Man Gauntlets. The Staticor is a Mastery Rank 10 radiation based Corpus sidearm, which means a little bit of extra crowd control based on that radiation effect you get from its damage. The Staticor has two different fire modes, uncharged and fully charged. Each mode fires energy bolts that change in speed and size depending on whether they're uncharged or charged, and they explode on impact in a very small radius. So aiming at the feet of a large group is definitely a really good option, but the fully charged shot will deal way more damage in an 8 meter radius as opposed to the 3 meter radius of the uncharged shot. Now, the Staticor has got a high status chance, a fast reload. It's really easy to get your hands on as well, with it being a clan dojo weapon, and more importantly, it is a shitload of fun to run with as well. So if fun is your main goal in Warframe, then this is definitely a weapon you should be looking at. So you can just choose to launch projectile after projectile at your targets and wub them to death, or you can choose to fully charge it up and wipe out larger groups of enemies because of that larger blast radius. Now, the Staticor has always been a good weapon, even with its crap Riven disposition, and it combines crowd control and damage to make it definitely one of the go-to sidearms for a lot of players in the community, and it deals with large groups easily, which is something you need a lot of in Warframe. We have got a lot of kind of tower defense or horde mode missions in Warframe after all. Now, next up is a vaulted set of akimbo sidearms that are probably some of the nicest looking pistols that we have in game, and they are deadly in terms of damage as well. The Akstiletto primes are, for a lot of people, go-to weapons of choice. They've got a really fast fire rate, fast reload with a mix of a decent crit chance and high status chance as well. So they can be modded for either, or for a hybrid of both crit and status, and they will kill pretty much anything that you throw at them, depending of course on the crazy scaling in game. Now, they can reach 100% status chance with 4 dual stat mods if you want to go down that road, but personally the best thing about these that I like is that, first of all, they're hit scan. They apply status effects really quickly because of that high fire rate. They reload really quickly as well. They've got a really good ammo economy. Don't expect to run dry too often with them, and to simply put it, they are an incredible set of all-round guns. Now, they are Mastery Rank 10, and like I said, they have been vaulted as of March this year, but you can still trade parts for platinum in trade chat with other players if they have the parts that you actually want, and more than likely they will reappear by being unvaulted at some point in the future. Now, next up we have my own personal favourite sidearm, Octavia's go-to pistol, the Pandero. Another weapon with two different fire modes, a semi-auto hard-hitting shot for popping melons at range, or you can let loose your full magazine of bullets, or what's remaining in your magazine, in one rapid fire frenzy. Basically you just fan the hammer, but when you fan that hammer it is at the cost of insane recoil and not being able to aim down the sight of that pistol while you're letting loose everything that's left in your magazine. Now the Pandero has got a neutral riven disposition which gives it great riven potential. You can get some incredible stats to boost this weapon up a lot more. The rapid fire, or the fan the hammer, once you get used to its recoil, can be used to incredible effect to burn down heavy units really fast. Just drag down on your aiming reticle as soon as you start fanning that hammer to drag your recoil right the way down. It's as simple as that. So the Pandero can reach 100% crit chance. It has nearly a 3 times crit multiplier, so it's going to hit feckin' hard. It deals decent amounts of slash damage. It has a 1 second reload speed. It's got a solid ammo economy, and it looks pretty fucking sweet at the same time. Right now I've got a decent riven for this, which brings me above the 100% crit chance, and it's my go-to weapon for hunting eidolons because I'm normally the Harrow in my squad. I don't bring a sniper. If you like powerful hand cannons like the Lex Prime, the mareloks and so on, then this is definitely a weapon that you should look to get your hands on because it is really fucking powerful. Now our next weapon is one that can wipe out large crowds of enemies with ease. It's one that has seen a substantial boost in damage with that beam weapon rework a while back. The Atomos might come as a bit of a surprise to some of you, but to the players who run with it all the time, it fully deserves to be on this list. If you don't believe me, go ahead and build it and see for yourself. Now, like I said earlier, wiping out large groups of enemies is something that you will want in certain weapons in Warframe, and the Atomos definitely does just that. And you can get it early on as well if you're new to the game, if you have the components to build it. It's a mastery rank 5 weapon. It's a heat beam weapon that chains between a maximum of 4 enemies, and of course any enemy that's stupid enough to walk into the way of those chains as well. Now you can increase the range of that main beam, the one that comes out of your Atomos first, with the Ruinous Extension mod, but it doesn't work for the additional chain links after that. It's not going to increase their range, so that mod is entirely, I guess, up to you whether you want to equip it or not. The Atomos melts. It's as simple as that. It melts everything. Single target or crowd clearing, it's really good at doing both, and because of that low mastery rank, it is a weapon that you can get really early in the game and hold on to and use for a very, very long time. In fact, you probably never would need to put it down. It's especially good with an accelerant ember, but go ahead and see for yourself. Its only real downside for me would probably be its ammo economy, but you can take carrier to fix that problem and not have any issues with that whatsoever. The next weapon, I guess, suffered a little bit of a zero to hero weapon scenario. This time last year, it was a pretty shit weapon. The Sicarus Prime looked really sleek and nice, but it dealt pretty bad damage numbers. Then we got the sidearm weapon pass, and all of a sudden, bam, new king in town. It became one of the best sidearms we have right now, and it got to keep its full riven disposition as well, which means you can get very, very powerful rivens to boost its stats up even further. Now this weapon used to be a mastery rank 4 weapon. Who remembers it way back then? Fuck, who even used it way back then? Not many people did, I bet. But the big problem with it right now is that it's feckin' vaulted as well, but will no doubt return again at some future unvaulting. So now it's a mastery rank 14 sidearm that fires in 3-round bursts. Expect a little bit of recoil, but not too much. It has a high crit chance and a high status chance, so modding for a mix of both is a great option, as well as having a high base damage if all 3 of your shots actually hit home. Now its impact, puncture and slash is pretty evenly spread between the 3, so it's a well balanced weapon for each of the enemy types. Is it one of our best weapons in game right now? Definitely, but having a riven makes it much more powerful than it is right now. So the next weapon up could have been one of a very large number of weapons, but I decided to go with one of my old favourite sidearms, an old faithful that I ran with for a very, very long time, the Vaykor marelok. This is a mastery rank 10 sidearm that you can buy off the Steel Meridian Syndicate or trade it in trade chat for platinum or something else, and it hits pretty damn hard. It also has a very useful utility effect from the Syndicate Justice effect that heals your Warframe for 25% of its health. It gives you a 15% armor boost for 30 seconds and deals 1000 blast damage to anything near you. Now to trigger this all you need to do is just keep killing enemies until you fill up that steel meridian meter in the bottom of your screen. It can hit 100% status chance as well. It has a high crit chance. It deals mostly impact but has got a decent amount of slash thrown in there as well. So it's one of those sidearms that you can either choose to mod it for crit or for status or for a hybrid of both. Now one of the main reasons as to why I used to love running with the Vaykor marelok, apart from that awesome spinning reload, is because with tanky Warframes, which are my Warframes of choice, it gave you that bit of added health regen and armor for added tankiness, and you could heal a lot just by running around killing things. Now I know other weapons like the Piranha Prime, the Aklex Prime, the Lex Prime, the Pox and so many others are just as good as the Vaykor marelok and deserve to be on this list, but don't argue or it's the badge up hit, right? Allow me this one. Or you're going in head first. Now our next weapon is another beam weapon that's seen a bit of a revival with the beam weapon changes a few months back. This weapon was once the single best gun in the game. Another syndicate weapon as well, and I don't think many of you will argue if you remember what the Synoid gammacor used to be like. Now I love the design of this thing. Its reload is cool as fuck as well. It's a mastery rank 7 beam weapon with a syndicate effect similar to the one the Vaykor marelok has, except this one is called Entropy, not Justice, and it deals 1000 magnetic damage once it triggers and will restore 25% of your Warframe's base energy and give you a 25% boost to your energy for 30 seconds as well. Now it's a magnetic damage dealing weapon that ramps up its damage over 0.6 seconds. Magnetic, I know, so it's ideal for corpus, but magnetic on its own against other factions doesn't sound great to begin with. But once you shift that damage to something else like corrosive or viral and so on, it performs incredibly well. It consumes 1 bit of ammo for every 2 ticks of damage your gammacor deals, and it fires 12 rounds a second. So you do the math, that's a lot of damage per second. I still have my socks and shoes on, so I can't count properly without my toes out. It's got a 20% crit chance, a 28% status chance, and it deals 28 base damage per tick. But it's when you get the gammacor fully ramped up, because you need to ramp beam weapons up now in terms of damage, and when you get it modded the way that you want, that you will see the full potential of the Synoid gammacor. It's incredibly powerful. At one point, like I said, it was the best gun in the game, and right now it's not far away from the power that it once held, and the entropy effect is always a really nice addition. Next up is a weapon that deals a lot of damage, but also throws a little bit of added crowd control into the mix as well. It's handy for all of you golden warriors because you can only get this off of Baro Katir, the Void Trader, whenever he has it for sale, and of course he only appears every 2 weeks. But it does look like you're kind of holding a brick. You're holding a corpus brick and it's firing fucking pellets. I guess if you like the idea of that, then definitely grab the Mara Detron. The Mara Detron is a mastery rank 9 corpus shotgun that deals high amounts of radiation damage. So that's where you get that bit of added crowd control from, that chaos effect that radiation gives. It is of course a different version to the normal Detron. This is the Mara Detron. Like I said, you can only get it off Baro Katir, and it's a shotgun that can reach 100% status, so it's going to be pretty damn good. Like any other shotgun that can reach that 100% magic number, every pellet will then proc a status effect. Now, neutral Riven disposition as well, that means you're going to get some top stats on a Riven for this weapon. Now, it has got a fast 1 second reload, so you can easily refill that magazine and keep on killing, and its ammo economy is pretty solid as well. However, it has got a fire rate. It has got a fire rate of 3.33 rounds a second. Fucking dick. But if you bind your fire rate to your mouse wheel if you're on PC, then you can fire a lot faster if you've equipped some of those fire rate mods. A bit like what we do with the Brak. Well, not a bit, completely like what we do with the Brak. It will basically allow you to empty all 8 rounds in a split second, reload and go again. So what I really like about the Mara Detron, apart from how fast it kills, is that even if you're too far away from enemies and it's suffering from damage fall off because it's a shotgun, you can still spread that radiation effect for crowd control, which is really handy. And there is an augment that you can get for this weapon as well that causes enemies to explode whenever you kill them, which is always a really nice feature. I mean, it's nice to just blow people up, isn't it? Fucking limbs everywhere. So that leaves us with 2 weapons left. That's all we've got left to go through. We're almost at the end. Again, this could have been one of 20 other weapons, but I felt like the Arca Scisco is a really powerful weapon that belongs on this list. It is a Mastery Rank 10 sidearm that you can get from your clan dojo. It's a pretty unique weapon as well in the way that it buffs its own status and crit chance after landing successful shots, and this buff stacks up to 5 times to a maximum of 20% bonus crit and status. This buff of course is added after you've already equipped your mods. So successful shots with your Arca Scisco can see you gaining that bonus 20% crit and status, and it is a buff that you can keep refreshing non-stop once you keep hitting enemies in the face. Now I think this is one of those weapons that maybe some players in the community forget a little bit about or don't like the zoom mechanic. It is kind of in a way a sniper secondary with those 2 bonus zoom levels, and I know there are players who don't like the kind of scopes or don't like having snipers in the game. Now it's already got a high base status chance and a 18% base crit chance, as well as having it deal an okay amount of slash damage, and that's before it gains that target analysis buff for extra crit and status. It's also got a neutral riven disposition, which means like other weapons I've already mentioned, it can get even stronger than it is right now. This is not even its final form. It also looks cool and sounds like a proper pew pew laser gun when you fire it, so that's going to be a fucking bonus, right? Now lack of punch through, like on some of our other semi-auto pistols, can be a pain in the ass. If something dies and you try to shoot and it doesn't go through his dead body because he's still blocking the dude standing behind him, it can be a little bit annoying, but you could mod for that. And it's also got a reload that is a little over 2 seconds, but it is manageable. So that's number 9 out of the way. Then there was one left. Remember, this list is not in any real order. 1 isn't better than 10, and like I said, there are a lot more than 10 good sidearms. I can't fucking drill that home enough. The Euphona Prime is the final weapon on this list, and let's be honest, you knew it was here. You knew it was going to be somewhere in this top 10. It's kind of like the Tigris Prime of secondary weapons. So the 2 fire modes are, you've got a slug mode and then you've got a shotgun mode. The slug mode has a really high crit chance and low, terrible status chance, as well as having it deal high amounts of impact damage. But once you flip it around to that shotgun mode, you will have a high status chance and really terrible crit chance, and that impact damage changes to slash damage, which is really fucking good, especially on a 100% status chance shotgun, because that's what you can reach with the Euphona Prime. So you kind of have to decide which you prefer when choosing to mod your Euphona Prime, or when you're rolling a Riven for it. You definitely need to decide once you're choosing that Riven, whether it's the primary fire, the slug that hits incredibly hard, but it's also projectile based, so you kind of need to judge your shots off of that, or whether you want to go with the 100% status shotgun of that alternate fire. Now that alternate fire shotgun mode actually hits the hardest out of all of our shotgun sidearms in game. So I know a few people who have Rivens specifically built just for that mode alone. Now let me know which mode you prefer for your Euphona Prime if you have it. I remember when this weapon first came out, it was definitely power creep to the extreme, but there are weapons now that are definitely on par with it, or even better in the eyes of some players. Now that's my top 10 sidearms. That's the video done. Like I said at the start of this video and several times throughout the middle of it as well, there are way more than 10 good weapons, 10 good sidearms. 20, even 25 would be a lot closer to it. And weapons like the Piranha Prime, the Pox, the Zacti, the Twin Grakata, the Hystrix, the Lex Primes, the Nucor, the Sonicor, and a few others definitely deserve to be on this list as well, even the Racta Ballistica. Let me know in the comment section below what your top 10 sidearm list would be, or what you would change around in my list, if you want to do it for fun or just to help new players out as well. Thank you very much for all of the support as usual on all of my videos. It does mean a lot. Do me a huge favour, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.